chair massage, and so we're going to be doing an introduction to massage. And the first thing that I wanted to start with was, I know everybody here knows my name. I'm Beverly Gonzalez. And hi. And we, you may be acquainted with me somewhat, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of idea of where I came from. Okay. In my upbringing, I actually was born in a Seventh-day Adventist hospital. I was raised right on the grounds of that hospital, and the hospital was where I got my first job. Before I got employed, I actually was a volunteer. I worked in the hospital, went everywhere, because as a volunteer I had to bring meds stat, I had to, bring flowers, I had to bring people in, I had to take them out, admitting them and actually discharging them. And one of the things that really, really got to me was seeing people come in, because I worked on Fridays, and seeing them leave the following Friday 300% worse than when they came into the hospital. It made a big impression on me as someone who was hearing about the health message, but realizing that there was much to be desired about the hospital and about what was actually happening here. And granted, some people were going in for surgery and that sort of thing, and so, but the meds, the drugs that people were being given, it seemed to just take the life right out of them. So that made a big impression on me as a young person and as a teenager, and I wanted to do massage when I was asked about it in 7th grade. I wanted to use my hands and I wanted to help people. And I thought maybe I wanted to do physical therapy. The more I learned about the healthcare system, the more I realized that even though my grandmother was a physical therapist and she did massage, that by the time I was getting into this, I was not actually able to even do massage as a nurse. I was not able to do massage as a physical therapist, because they took those things out and started putting machines in people's place. Mm-hmm. So again, my mother and I had a relationship that was very stressful, but her touch was what kept me sane through the insanity that I grew up with. So I believed in it. I believed that there was something to it that was very, very important. So, just to give you an idea, that's what kind of brought me into doing what I did. And like I said before, I've been doing this well over 25 years, closer to 30. And I worked in the spa industry for 22 years, and did hydrotherapy and other therapies as well. So, we're here to talk about, first of all, we're here to talk about, I talked about me, but we're here to talk about what massage is about. And the first thing that comes to mind is touch. Okay, so, think about a baby's first language. A baby's first language. They don't, maybe, perhaps they don't know English. They're not thinking. But when a baby's born, a baby needs touch. A baby needs to be cuddled. A baby needs to be accepted, but a baby needs touch. And so it has been amply shown that if you don't touch a baby, the baby will fail to thrive, meaning the baby will die. Okay, so that as a beginning for learning about massage is important for us to all realize. And it's not just babies who need touch, okay? Not that we're all babies, but it's all of us need touch to live. If you think about it, when you go out in the sunshine, the sun is touching you, the light, you feel it. You feel the warmth. When you get into the shower, water is touching you. Okay, again, the hot, the cold, the warm. and, where there's those kind of sensations, and we have touch, we have a response. Okay? So where there is no sensation, like lukewarm, like if you stuck your finger in lukewarm water and didn't move it, you wouldn't know that your finger was in water. Like nothing was moving. Okay? So I was just going to give you an example of how powerful touch can be, and that was my nephew. My nephew was born premature. This was before they had the treatment for the lungs that they have now. He was born in Brigham and Women's Hospital, which is in the Women's and Infants division. They are for women and children. My sister-in-law was not allowed to go in and see the baby for 3 days. My mother stormed the place when she got in there, finally 3 days after the birth. He was getting about 47% oxygen. He was intubated. He was in a what do you call that? An incubator. And he was being cared for, but being intubated and everything else, they were keeping track of how much oxygen he was getting in his lungs. But his lungs were underdeveloped, and it's the last thing to develop for a baby. So my mother demanded to go in there and see the baby, and they finally let her, even though the mom, was still not able to go in and see the baby. My mother just stroked his arm, which was blue, and it turned pink. So she saw the response, and she started she started touching him all over his arms and legs, just touching him. That baby came back to life. He turned pink. Within 10 minutes, that baby was getting 87% oxygen into his blood. His blood count, for oxygen just went way up. All right? By the time another hour went through, he was getting like 97% oxygen. His lungs rallied, and he was not in a state of, fail to thrive anymore. He was dying. He was struggling as a baby. So when I heard after the fact that this happened, not to put them down, but at Brigham and Women's in Boston, which is for infants and all of that, and to realize that this baby was dying right there under their care. Again, I had just gotten through massage school, or I was still in it, and I just was like, no way. So again, it reinforced the idea that we have a healthcare system that is not meeting all of people's needs, and that has taken out touch from nursing, from physical therapy, from everything, basically, in the hospital setting. So I didn't know how to find it, but God led me to a school where I could learn how to do massage therapy. So I'm here today to help you guys towards being able to use touch in a healthy way. Okay? So the other thing I wanted to mention is that the development of the brain is key with touch. Again, sadly, they did experiments on orphans who were actually only cared for, like my nephew, who this would have been his fate. They were only cared for, if he was a perhaps. They were only cared for their needs, changing the diapers and that sort of thing. No cuddling, no touching, just, okay, we're going to do that. And they literally did this on purpose so they could see what happened. Took brain scans, and parts of those babies' brains died. Just went dark. So imagine that. So for us to think that the brain is something separate from our body, we need to kind of get the idea that we are one, okay? And that what you feel out here, your nerves are part of the nervous system, which is, you know, the master of which is your brain, and also, in a huge way, is your small intestine, okay? So there's a huge link between this and your brain, but all of your nerves. Okay, so touch, I always think of it this way, that it's massaging your brain. It's actually stimulating your brain. It's bringing life to your brain and the different organs as well, conversely. So you're not just touching somebody's skin, okay? And that's something we also have to realize too, where it's more than just on the surface. What we're doing is touching a person very deeply when we touch them, whether it's for good or whether it's for bad. Okay, so again, the response of people to touch, you know, go beyond a baby, you know, it can be hope, bring hope to somebody. Somebody might not realize how bad they are until, you know, and how much they couldn't feel until they start to feel again. So it can bring a sense of security. It can bring a sense of love, acceptance, and a sense of connection. Again, if we are feeling disconnected, it is not good. And if we actually are connecting with other people, we know we're alive. Think about it. So, when I think of healthy touch, I think of the verse that says, "Do unto others as you would have them do unto you." So, when it comes to touch, this is the introduction, and I wanted to introduce touch to you, just so you can think outside of just, you know, that we're just touching somebody skin deep. It's skin deep, and that's all it is. We can bring people more, okay? But the first thing that I wanted to stress about healthy touch is that the very first thing that we need to have is a respect for ourselves, a respect for God, and a respect for the other person. And that person needs to get that through our touch. So this is something that we're going to develop hopefully within the next 4 weeks or 4 sessions, okay, in working with each other. All right, so we want to make sure that touch is done in love. Okay, that means that there's no compulsion. That means that there's no force. And I'll teach you how to use pressure, but not with force. Okay? Nothing that's inappropriate. Okay? And nothing that is innocuous. And I'm going to define that word as being, well, who come up here, Angie. I'm going to show on Angie something that you might have, sit down for a second, that you might have had happen before, and that is if somebody does this.
That can be annoying.
Okay, so that's what I mean by innocuous. Innocuous means that there's no direction with the touch. So you're just doing something mindlessly. It also means that you're not connecting, okay? You're just doing something. And that's annoying her because I'm not even thinking about her. I'm just doing it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if we're careless about the way we touch people, that can happen too. Whereas with massage, we want to actually touch deeper. We will also want there to be a progression of touch. And that is what is going to help us also. So the first thing that I wanted to write down on the board, and you can go ahead and sit down, Angie, is there a pen? Okay. Is that very simply, okay, for massage, there's effleurage, which is a lighter intro to touch. Okay. Oh, come on in, Tina. Can you open that door for her? Okay. There's petrissage. Whoops. Yes. Thank you. Okay, these are actually French terms, okay, for something they call Swedish massage. We're going to be doing chair massage, so we're not going to be doing exactly, we're not going to be using oils and that type of thing, okay? But it's good for you to understand that we don't want to jump into petrissage, which is squeezing and kneading, when what we needed to do was introduce ourselves to the person. Okay? So you might have seen how when I did, after I annoyed her with the innocuous touch, okay, of it wasn't getting deeper, it wasn't getting later, it was the same over and over again. That's kind of like somebody doing a monotone. It's very, when you hear something that's monotone, it's very annoying, okay? Same thing happens with touch, too. You don't want it to stay the same. You want it to be going somewhere, okay? So, tapotement is actually, what's the word I should use for this?
Percussion.
Percussion, yes, percussion. And so basically, that is using things like you're going to use your hands for doing karate chops. You can use your fists, but I don't recommend that. You can use a soft fist like this. Okay, it's basically striking the body. It creates a different type of response. Okay, so basically, I'm just showing you this as an introduction to say, when we start, we're going to do a lighter touch. Okay, but we're not just going to stay with a lighter touch. We're going to get deeper if we can. All right, and then with petrissage, we're going to be squeezing and kneading. You can see me doing this, okay? Imagine this is somebody's shoulders, okay? But we need to introduce ourselves to the person first, okay? And before you do any beating on anyone, percussion, okay? Again, you don't just jump into this. You don't just jump into this either, okay? Because the person is not going to respond favorably. If somebody just comes up to you and starts beating on you, it's not expected to be a really good response, okay? So, the other thing I was going to say was, and this is just very quickly, again, I just want you guys to get the idea. And I'm going to reiterate them as we go for every class, because we need to hear it again and again. And this idea is that there's something called a pain, spasm, pain, cycle, okay? So this cycle is, okay, somebody hurts you, or you hurt yourself, you stub your toe, or you hit your shin, or you walk into something. The pain that's caused, especially to muscles, the pain that's caused will cause spasm in the muscle, okay? That spasm is going to tighten up like a sponge, it's going to squeeze the muscle, which is going to limit the circulation, if you can imagine. So this I can't really squeeze too much, but imagine your muscle is a sponge, okay, and so it tightens up, it squeezes all the water out, right? So now you're getting a little bit of circulation in there because it's not totally dead, but it's tight, it's constricted, and so what comes out?
Goes in. Pain. Okay.
You've got pain, because there are things that are now not getting out, and that is the toxicity, the acids from that muscle being worked and staying in a spasm. It's like your muscle now is in a state of unrest. It will not let go because it's protecting itself. So as it tightens up and protects itself, now, like today we heard, well, I didn't get to hear it, but we heard about detoxing, right?
Yeah.
You got to get the garbage out, okay? You got to get the toxins out. We eat and excrete. Every cell in your body does too. So if your cells aren't getting, they're still getting something, but they're not able to let go of the pain, okay, which is actually sponsored by these toxins like lactic acid, uric acid, different acids. Usually it's acid, okay, that causes a tremendous amount of pain. Also ammonia, okay. If you're on a high protein diet, you're going to have a lot of ammonia in your body, okay, and that is toxic. So that's going to cause you more pain, and that's just one example. But say you're getting beat up every day, whether it's emotional or whether it's physical. If you're getting beaten up every day, you're tight, and if you're tight, you're not letting the tissues get clean. So there's a lot of stuff that's stuck in there that's not actually getting out, okay? A lot of it gets into the connective tissue, that is what is around your muscles, okay? But it's a real problem. So, insert in here, and what I wanted to show you was, here's the original pain, here's the spasm, okay? The spasm causes more pain because now there's more toxicity just because you're not letting it out, okay? That's why if you exercise, it's good to rest, but still walk it off, you know? Doesn't mean if you do, like, you exercise your legs really hard, you don't, it's not good for you to just stop. You need to cool down. And you need to do it again the next day, but not as hard. You need to walk it through though. And that is going to help the circulation get through. Otherwise, you don't have, you know, for instance, a racehorse, if you race a horse, they're not going to put the horse, $1 million horse, back in the stall right after the race. They're going to walk him, and that's you know. Otherwise, they will probably kill the horse as far as his career, because he will go into spasm because of all the pain that's in the muscles that needs to get washed through. So that spasm causes more pain, that causes more spasm, which causes more pain, and you just go down, I don't want to say the drain, but basically things just get worse and worse as far as that goes. God has made this body with so much grace that we have a heart that pushes the blood through, that keeps getting that life back into us, okay? But the cleansing part, we have a little bit of trouble with. So insert touch, and what touch does is brings down the pain, okay? Again, it can happen with sunlight, it can happen with water, okay? Even air. Take a deep breath. Can you feel that? God's touching you on the inside. Have you ever thought of it that way? He's touching you inside your lungs, okay? It's crazy, but God touches you with all the wonderful ways that He has designed our bodies to actually experience life. So, so this idea of touch is not foreign, okay? So, to us, it's just so second nature to us that we don't really think about it. We don't think about breathing because we don't have to, because God makes sure that we keep breathing. We don't have to, stay awake at night wondering if we're going to breathe. Some people who have sleep apnea have a little trouble with that, but that's not a normal, situation. So basically, I wanted you guys to understand this. Of course, spiritually speaking, same thing can happen. Okay, so those are the types of things I just want you guys to start thinking about as well. That there are spiritual applications to everything that's physical in our world. And that's what Jesus did, was he used applications of the seed and the sower and, everything that pertained to life as people.
Yes.
So, all right. So, basically, I don't know if everybody knows everybody's name here, but I just wanted to go around and actually have everybody say your name and why you're here. Yes, that's it. So, you can start.
I'm Ruth, and I want to learn about massage, and that's it.
I'm Amber. I'm here to learn about massage.
I'm Michelle. I'm fascinated with medical missionary work, and I would like to know about massage.
And I'm Janice, and I'm fascinated with medical missionary work too. And I'm here to learn about auto mechanics. No, I'm here to learn about massage as well.
Basically,
Same thing.
I love you.
Wrong one.
Oh, this is why you were here. Who are you?
Stop!
We're all going to pick on you about that now.
Hi, I'm Angie, and I'm here to support my friend. I don't know if I can do ever massage on anybody, but maybe I will find something that attracts me to do it to somebody. I don't know, but to learn something.
Hi, I'm Tina, and I'm here because I've done some chair massage before in a previous job that I had, but I am here because I've worked with Beverly doing hydrotherapy and her massage, and I just feel that God would have us learn as many skills as we can, so I want to learn what Beverly knows in a nutshell.
I'm Beth, and when I was in nursing school, we all used to give each other back rubs. And I would like to develop that more.
My name is Bob, and Beth said that she needed somebody to work on. So I came here to be a subject, and I thought that while I'm here, I might pick up a few things just by being here.
Right.
Okay, I'm Gemma, and I'm here to support our health team, and also because Tom wanted to come.
Really? That's true.
And support the Spouses Day.
It'll pay off.
Yeah, I'm Tom, and it's important to learn as much as you can about the human body and how it works and how you can facilitate the health and healing. Most of us know so little about that. We really, in order to make this medical missionary work a success, we're going to have to go way deeper than we ever have before. So that's great. That's wonderful. I'm looking forward to being a greater part of that. Especially as I start waking up from the somnambulant experience I've been going through for the last year.
Okay, and I'm Beverly, and you all know who I am, and I already told you why I got into massage. I didn't tell you why I'm here though, and that was really because about 6 or 8 weeks ago, God just really said that this is something we're going to do. And so between Janice and I and the church and all of you, because you're part of this, like I said, you know, it's just amazing what God is doing to pull people together. And I think that's, it's a very, very, very important part of the journey, is that we recognize that we're in this together. So, I'm just thankful that, that God is doing this, and, that we're here. While some of you were gone, Tina asked a question about chronic pain, especially for someone who has had a stroke. And one of the things I didn't mention yet has to do with atrophy of muscle tissue. So your muscles are innervated, okay, meaning there's nerves into your muscles. But if you had a stroke, then there's a death to some of the nerves that are actually innervating some of the muscles, and that's why somebody with a stroke, you might see half of their face drooping. You might see, you know that they can't use their arm and leg on one side of their body, type of thing. They don't have, you know, the ability to say from their brain, work, and it works, okay? So muscle will atrophy, and what that word atrophy means is that the muscle starts to waste away, okay? So again, without touch and without stimulation, and this is where some stress is good, okay, and needful, but without any sensation and without any innervation, without any connection to the brain or to God, things start to die, and they start to die very, very quickly. And when I say quickly, I will use this example. If your muscle goes into a cramp, for instance, okay, this has nothing to do with a stroke, but if your muscle goes into a cramp, it actually has completely closed off the blood vessels, and it causes extreme pain immediately, which if you've had a cramp, you know it hurts. But it hurts because it's actually cut off all of its blood supply, and that muscle is dying. Okay, it's not just ow, it's dying as it's happening. Okay, it is going through that pain cycle so drastically that it's not just, you know, squeezing, it's just cut off. And that's what a heart attack is. It's a muscle cramp, okay? It's your heart that's cramping because it itself as a muscle is not getting the blood that it needs. And so unfortunately, a muscle cramp causes everything to stop. The blood stops flowing. Basically, you take those arteries and you close them off. So with a stroke, atrophy will cause a lot of pain because the muscle doesn't have the same sort of, tone. It doesn't have the same tension. It doesn't have the ability to actually, flex and tighten up and relax. The most healthy muscle in our body should be our heart, because it does what every muscle should do. It squeezes and then it relaxes. It squeezes and relaxes. Okay? If I was to tell you all to hold your arm up like this, for 5 minutes, probably most of you would get tired within a very short amount of time. I always find that because my work, is more like this, that if I'm folding sheets or towels, if I'm holding my arms up for long periods of time, it's like, oh, I'm really feeling that. Because I'm not used to that as much as the other type of work that I do. So there's not as much blood vessels getting in there, so the muscle gets tight. It only takes 90 seconds for a muscle that is contracted to get tired and to start hurting and to start spasming. 90 seconds. So imagine, again, the grace of God in creating us the way He has, okay? So when you're in a situation where you've got to hold, where you're at a computer. You may not think this is a big deal because, but you're cocking up your wrist a little bit. It's using all these muscles and getting them stuck in one position. So that type of thing can lead to carpal tunnel and that sort of thing if you're not exercising them out, okay? So it's a good thing to remember, we're sitting right now, but I'm gonna have you up in a minute. So even, sitting exercises different muscles, but it's good for you to move around. It's good for kids to move around. That's why they don't like to sit still. They're listening to their bodies, their bodies are saying, no, I don't want to sit still. So as we get older, we get used to that type of thing. But we find it harder to hold ourselves up just because of our lifestyles, usually. So massage can actually help with somebody, back to your question, who has muscle atrophy, because you're actually helping to get more circulation by actually evacuating, if you will, the toxins from the muscle first. There needs to be two things that happen. The circulation needs to get in there. But again, if you have circulation getting in, but there's nothing coming out, that's not good, okay? And so, again, there needs to be things that are moving out, and that's again why we start with a lighter touch too, and also we try to warm people up. So, we're gonna get to do a little hands-on right now. I'm not gonna get out the chair or anything else, but we're in chairs, and I wanna show you how simple it is to do chair massage just with somebody sitting. But one of the most important ways that you can learn about massage is by receiving. So don't think you're just here for her to work on. Learn while you receive, okay? Listen to somebody's hands. And that's what we're gonna do now. I want every other person, who should I start with? Okay, Ruth, Michelle, stand up. Angie, do you want to participate? If you don't want to participate, you don't have to. You can just push, you can just stay there. You don't want to?
Can I ask a question before you get any farther? When you do get a bad leg cramp or whatever, what is the best thing to do? Massage it?
One of the best things to do is massage it. The best thing that you can do though is to work the opposite muscle with resistance. So for instance, if I was to, where are you talking about? You're talking about
Well, Tom
up
has cramps in the back of his legs,
Okay.
And if
Right.
it gets really bad, he has to get up and he has to walk and he's in pain.
Okay. Good question. I've got you guys standing already, sorry. Good question. And basically, what you need to do is shut off the muscle, okay? If you get up and walk, oftentimes that will help you, okay? But sometimes that won't do it, okay? And again, the first thing you want to do is stop that muscle from dying. You don't want muscle tissue to die anymore, okay? So you want to stop it as soon as possible.
When you say die means it's dead forever? Or what do you mean?
Yes.
Because my mom
Yes,
is
it will be
getting a lot
damaged.
of
It will be damaged, and it will be dead. There will be dead tissue there that has to be taken away, it has to be discarded, it has to be eaten by, your lymphatic system. It will have to be broken down and gotten out of there, or it will calcify, which means it turns to bone. It'll just stay, or it'll crystallize, it'll feel like crystals in the muscles. It's very, it's not very common for people to have, that type of, situation because of the grace of our heart and how it keeps pushing blood into areas. But it does happen. So in the case of a cramp, you want to work the opposite muscle. So if your calf muscle, okay, back here is, and this actually has to do with your brain, this happens in your brain. If this muscle is cramping, you wanna use the muscles that actually pull your foot up. But you'll find if you're cramping and you do this, and you just do this, it's not gonna stop your cramp. It's gonna make it, it's gonna hurt more, okay? Because you need something that's going to stop it. You can very simply do this and create resistance. So you're pushing with this foot, you can sit down, guys. You push with this foot and you pull up. That's gonna work the opposite muscle and shut this one off. The brain is literally like, it's like having a blackout for this muscle, because with resistance, when you come up, say, you know, it's this muscle versus this muscle. If this muscle's cramping, I wanna do this, okay? Because I want the brain to shut off this muscle.
But if
That's
this
the only way you
muscle's
can do it.
cramping, my mom gets like all kinds of cramps right here, like when she bends over or
Yeah.
something, it's like she cannot even get up because it's like a cramp, it's literally a cramp, and it's
That's the
like,
diaphragm.
and she can not even get up or turn or anything, it's like a lot of pain, that's why I was asking.
Right, that's the diaphragm. That's a little bit harder because you know, again, to work that muscle with resistance, can anybody think of what you might do?
Stretch out.
Stretch it
Your
towards the
back.
back.
Breathe.
Sit up.
Breathe, but that's not with necessarily with resistance. See,
Your arms, raise up your arms.
sing, okay.
Back.
Very simple. Take a deep breath. And now, when you take the breath in, I want you to do this. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, it's right here.
That's a resistance exercise.
Oh, yeah.
What you breathe
It
out.
may sound
Workout.
silly, it may sound silly, but that's a way to work the diaphragm with resistance.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would help her cramp, but she can try it.
Worth a try.
So, but that is also, and I meant to say it during the hydrotherapy class, it's also a very, very good way to actually bring a lot of force to deep breathing, okay, is actually working it as an exercise. So, the way you'd probably do it is like that, with pulses, and that's actually working your diaphragm, and that's actually going to enlarge your lung capacity. I learned that in voice training, and it also helps you to get more air in your lungs, as far as not just being able to bring more in, but you're going to get more oxygen into your blood. But anyway, that's one thing that you could do. You might want to suggest she tries that next time. Not sure though about that one. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do some touch, okay? And again, if there's somebody here who doesn't want to cooperate or participate, you can just you can just bow out. Angie's going to not. So if there's anybody else who doesn't want to be part of it,
I don't know
that's
if I
fine.
have the energy, is there? Does that take a lot of energy or just a little?
That should be very good at the
Effleurage.
effleurage. You probably can say it properly,
Well,
but
as
we
long as you
probably
can
don't.
stand, as long as you can stand,
Yeah, I can
then you
stand.
can do
So
it.
you
Okay,
go up and you go
so,
And Tina will go up, because I'm gonna.
so 1, 2,
We're together
you're
as
gonna
one.
stand, you're gonna stand. Are you gonna participate?
You don't want to stand?
If you're not gonna participate, you can push your chair back and everybody else can push their chair
She
in.
can stand.
In other words, you can sit in the corner.
In the corner.
Oh,
Yeah, facing the wall.
And we
so,
won't look.
alright, well, now Amber's not gonna participate, so,
And it's not gonna
so,
sit
no, she's not gonna
there.
participate, she's
Michelle,
gonna
you have to
watch.
Sit down.
Go ahead and sit
down.
down.
Sit down?
Because
Nice
I
to
get
stand up.
her now. Yep. Alright, who else?
You have to sit? I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, you sit. 'cause I'm
All I
up.
know is I
I'll
want
do
to be
whatever you
worked
want
up.
me to
You
do.
sit down. Beth
He's
got up,
up and he's.
she went down, Devin has to get up, Tom will sit there.
Okay,
I need a lot of help.
open it out.
Did you get the thing about pressing?
Yeah,
Does that work for sciatic?
I actually done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, oh, yeah. I just, I just did it like automatically, not even thinking.
I
So,
would
so when
wake
you
up
did
in
that
the
way,
morning
your
with
right
a
hand,
bad cramp in my leg, and the first thing I do is get out of bed and stand on it.
Yeah, well, that's what I had to do too.
Immediately
Yeah.
it's gone.
See, it's not gone immediately.
Yeah, I
I
haven't been.
stand, make sure I put
But
some
you
weight
either-
on my cramp, and it's gone.
Usually,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
has- if it's really bad, you have to walk it off, or you need to massage it after you stop it. You've got to stop it,
Right.
and if it's not stopping, you know, in doing that, the other way you can do that is find a low piece of furniture that you can actually stick your foot under. If you've got a shoe on, it's probably, or you know, something, that's gonna help. And then pull up on that, because it's something that's not gonna move. And that's actually the best way to do it. Something that's immovable is going to be absolutely resistance exercise, okay? And that will shut it off. But then you need to rub it right away, okay? So, who's up and who's down? Tina, are you not?
if she's in the down right now.
Yeah,
I was up, she's down. She was up and
Then
he's
bring
down.
your chair in.
She's in.
I didn't want to be on camera.
Oh, that's right, we're on camera.
That's okay, that's okay.
Can-
All right, so, all right, Gemma. So stand behind somebody. You can stand behind her. Okay.
Oh no, you're an expert, so now I'll have
You better shape up.
All right, so,
to. Brand. Okay with these hands, too, you.
That's all you need.
One. I'm in trouble.
okay, I want to have my hands on somebody, so.
My chair bother you.
Okay? All right, so what we're gonna do is just hands on. Put your hands on, okay. And so, the person who's in the chair, I want you to think about what you're receiving from the person. Okay? This isn't really deep. I just want you guys to think about what's being communicated, okay? Just by the touch.
You want
All right.
answers?
What?
You want answers?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. This is more for you, this is not as much for the person who's giving as it is for the person who's receiving, okay? Because I want you to feel, all right? So you can feel what is being communicated, and now I want you to just take 30 seconds and just do a little bit of some sort of massage. It can be anything that you want to do. Anything, okay?
You're goosebumps, is that okay?
No snoring, please. Okay, now we're going to say goodbye, and we're gonna switch, okay?
Okay, hon,
And
I
you're not
sit together.
participating, so. All right. No, the people who are sitting are just gonna stay sitting.
On the
Okay.
other.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
We're just gonna move around.
oh, I'm doing it.
Yep. We're gonna go to the next
So
person.
you stand up, Lou.
Yep.
Yeah, she was up.
So who do I go to?
Oh, she was up?
Yeah,
And I'll
Angie.
go to this lady.
No, Andrew didn't wanna participate. So,
So
I'm not really participating, so you're
Okay,
gonna
I'm
go to
participating, you can come.
Okay.
Beverly does. That's my
Wow.
Look at her face. Okay, I will. You want me to do it to her?
You're just going to, okay, go ahead, just rest your hands and then do a little bit of massage. Just whatever you wanna do.
Really tight in there, I see.
Oh, I like the spider move.
Okay, we're gonna just switch now. Next person.
No, you stay. You stay sit.
Oh, okay. We're
It's the
moving.
standing that move.
They're gonna get a chance. I want you guys to feel the difference between everybody's touch. Everybody's touch is gonna be very different.
Michelle.
So we do the same thing now?
The people who are in the chairs are learning more than we are, the ones who are giving. Although, start just trying to feel where there's a need. Okay, we're gonna switch.
Are you on? Yes, no?
See?
So Janice, you're gonna have to do her and Michelle. She's like, that's not fair.
I have to say that this one now is the best one.
Well, yeah, she's a professional.
I was doing it a little longer than you.
Gemma's not that far behind.
Well, my hands don't flatten, so it's a little harder.
That works to your advantage. It actually, yeah.
Oh, good.
It's real stiff right there,
Yeah,
so.
oh, good. Praise the Lord.
Yeah. I think we should just stop right here.
He gets the 5 to 10 minute massage, not 3 at all.
Oh, percussion.
Oh,
She don't know.
I don't dare do that too much.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You didn't mind being pounded on. That's
That make him.
Now that everybody's warming up a little bit, we can do that. Now we're gonna switch.
You can take it.
Gemma, you have more energy than anyone on.
Actually, what she's probably finding is that this is energizing for her.
Yeah.
And so it's very interesting. You know, we think of it as just being a lot of work, but
Yeah.
I used to really find that it would energize me.
I
to
can help
work
you
with
get
people.
energized anytime.
Yeah, me
What you need to do is
Put me on that list.
cuff him a little bit, so that'll loosen up his neck.
I have a question. I'm a very experienced chiropractor patient. I just stopped going to a chiropractor in August. This is my longest period of time away from a chiropractor. I've been going for years. I've been through 3 chiropractors. And
What'd you do with the first two?
and this location, I was moving, things like that. I wanted a closer one. I wanted a better one. I wanted one that was less expensive, things like that. But
Just find it less expensive.
I found going to a chiropractor and getting aligned very beneficial.
Oh, yeah.
And all those years of going to a chiropractor, I haven't been since August, and I haven't missed it. I seem to be put into place, and I've been staying there since. And I think all the walking I've been doing
Yes.
has been helping too, because that's the
Oh,
only
yeah.
difference.
Yes.
I've been doing a lot more
Strengthens,
walking,
yeah.
Right.
and I have not. I don't have that need for an adjustment since then, since August. It's going to be a year, and this is real. I'm thinking about all my getting adjusted. I never got a massage, but just getting them adjusted. And the one thing I haven't heard today was your nerves. It's all about your nerves in a chiropractor and making sure that you're aligned. And it's crucially important to be aligned.
Right.
So that's another point.
You need to be aligned too.
That seems to go along with
I
this.
have to go because I have numbness in these toes and some
No, seriously.
here. I have subluxations in my back.
Funny.
I need to go.
Yeah.
I just have to find
You
them.
have
You
some.
might like Crossroads. Beverly told me about that place.
Where's that?
Not far,
It's around
5
the corner.
minutes. Christian
Here?
place. Very nice people.
Chiropractic?
Oh, what are they?
No,
Physical
it's
therapy.
craniosacral,
Oh.
is physical therapy.
Is it what?
Physical therapy.
Physical
They
therapy?
don't do
adjust.
massage.
They do
It
adjust.
would
has-
be, it would be safe for you to
The
do.
doctor referred you for us to a chiropractor, so you have to take a chiropractor.
Uh,
they are just tight, okay? And I'm gonna use you as an example. You know, what they actually need is a deeper touch to be able to feel. So on a certain level, what Beth was doing was not wrong, but it was something that was annoying you because you were not feeling it deep enough, okay? So those are some of the things I'm gonna teach you going forward, as to how to deal with that. As for today, this is an introduction, and those a very clear connection at the beginning when you touch someone, so that they understand that you're there to be trusted, that your touch can be trusted, and then you need to prove that to the person. You know, again, if somebody is like, oh, that's too much, oh, that's hurting me, or, oh, that's just not, you know, I can't even feel it, you know. You need to say it nicely, but, you know, could you go, could you, could you go a little deeper would be good, okay? So again, there's ways of asking for what you need as well. And this is also something that we need to learn how to do on every level, is be able to ask for what we actually need. But if we don't even know, you know, we may not have known, you know, that Tom wants a deeper massage and she wants a very gentle massage. We might not have known that, and they might not have known that until they actually experienced it. So it is about touch, and massage is about experience. You're experiencing your own body, and you're understanding yourself better through somebody else's touch. And you can also understand what you don't like about somebody else's touch. So you guys can all sit down again. There's a few people who I didn't work on, so
I like you guys get up. You are always the same designated people that get up. Because you all have so many questions that we get a lot of experts.
Okay, so was there anything else, for those people who were just receiving, besides the fact that we were noticing, you know, that everybody was lightening up? What was?
I have an up there,
Yes,
I'm
you
sorry.
do.
I can feel it.
That's gonna be a
She's sorry about her own pain.
No, I interrupted.
Is that too much?
No.
Okay.
Did you
So,
feel it or not?
does it feel comfortable for me to do that? Okay. So notice what, you know, I'm not just trained, I could do this in my sleep. And so, but I am mindful in the sense that when I'm touching someone, I am challenging them to some degree. Now that she's been softened up a little bit by everybody else, you know, I can't help but feel where her pain is. I know where it is. My fingers go right to it. Amber is pretty good about doing that too. I don't know.
Can you see where my pain is?
Well, she's good about doing it with me anyway, so, you know, she's very good with that. But, again, I'm treading softly with her pain, because I know she doesn't want, you know, from what I've heard her say, I know she doesn't want to be hurt, and she wants to be, you know, gently, you know, taken care of. But, again, if you want there to be some change, you want to actually, you know, give enough pressure so that you are making it evident. You know, she said she was sorry because she was interrupting me, but I'm not sorry that I'm showing her where her pain is, because that's what needs to happen. Does that make sense? For there to be change. Pain actually, in the sense, and this is the other thing I wanted to mention, in a sense of good pain versus bad pain. Okay, bad pain is going to create, inflammation. It's going to create a response that actually causes more spasms. So that's not good. If you start to touch someone and they are getting tighter, they might not be complaining, but their body's telling you that something is wrong, okay? Because the response is not that they're loosening up, that they're getting better circulation. The response is that they're hardening up like a rock. If that's the case, then you need to, again, sometimes ask. And somebody may not tell you right out and say, well, you know, you're hurting me. You know, they might need you to, you know, to actually ask them. So, from the perspective of someone who's giving, that's one thing you need to feel for and see if they're actually softening up or if they're hardening. Okay, or if there's no response at all. What can I do better? You know, do you need a little more pressure? You know, just a little bit of communication can go a long way. Did I hurt you?
No?
Right. So I think Janice is the no. Did I work on you? Yes. Okay.
No, I
So
don't think so.
Janice is the last person that I haven't worked on. So.
Hi, everyone, thank you.
Bye. Okay. So, so as far as good pain, the reason pain is good, and that we actually work with pain, and this is a very interesting thing when you think about it spiritually as well. You know, if you're not feeling anything, there's probably not going to be any response or any change in your life, correct? So if everything's just going the way it, you know, it might seem like it's supposed to, then we're not going to change anything. So it's the same thing with the massage and with touch. But part of the reason that pain is a necessary part of this equation is because good pain, meaning I'm challenging you, you're feeling the pain, you're understanding you have a knot. You know there's something that's a problem, okay? But now that you've identified that you have a problem, you don't want the person to leave it alone, but you want them to treat you right and actually see if maybe they can hang in there until that goes away, you know, and do a massage that is going to actually help you to open up. So, good pain sponsors endorphins. If you know what endorphins are, they're painkillers, natural painkillers. So you're actually going to find that you know, working with pain, just enough pain, so that you can feel the pain, but it doesn't feel bad. Okay, that's something we all need to get some experience with, as far as receiving, to be able to also know what we're doing. And it does take some experience for you to actually feel that when you're working with somebody. But, again, you have the indication if somebody's softening up, you're probably working with their pain level in a sense that it's actually working. And the body is working with you, and God is working through you, and it's happening that you're not working too hard, because things are starting to just open up. And that's what should happen. You do get people who will say, I just want deep tissue, you know, give me your elbow. And you may have to go ahead and do that, because they, again, it's almost as if they are so insulated from anything. There's so many layers of pain there that what they're looking for is even excruciating pain. They want to feel something. And their body is crying out for something because they are so numb and so, or in so much pain elsewhere. A lot of times pain is referred. You know, when you have a headache, oftentimes you've got a knot right back here or a knot in your neck. You have oftentimes referred pain, and it feels like your whole head is going to explode. It's not your head. Your brain doesn't have it doesn't have nerves to actually feel itself, which is strange, but it's
Yeah, because
that's
can
why.
you imagine that we feel inside of our brains? God is so amazing. It will be horrible to feel the big thing in there.
So what are headaches then?
Headaches are all on the outside. It's all referred pain for the nerves that are in the musculature and
the muscle.
the connective tissue that's up in your head. So when the muscles here in your shoulders and your neck get very, very tight, it refers pain a little bit like a piano string or a violin string. The tighter the string, the higher the pitch, okay? So you put some pressure on the string, it shortens the string and the pitch goes higher, okay? That means it's gonna vibrate more. So it's a little bit similar to that if you think of them as
So basically,
strings.